Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, class. This is lecture number 2 of chapter 6, that is unemployment, of subject economics. In lecture number 1, we have discussed about the introduction and meaning of unemployment. Today in this lecture, we are discussing about the types of unemployment, and in that, in initial stage, we will discuss about the introductory part. Done? So, it is given in page number 66, point number 6.2, that is types of unemployment. Basically, there are 5 types of unemployment we are going to discuss in this particular session. First one is open unemployment, then underemployment, then third one is disguised unemployment, fourth one is cyclical, and fifth one is frictional unemployment. But before moving towards the topic or particular types of unemployment, first of all let us discuss the nature or Sri Raj Krishna Committee's report, and that is the measures to know the nature of poverty. Because because the unemployment is different in different states or in different countries. It may happen that some of the developed countries are having different type of unemployment, while some of the developing countries having different type of unemployment than developed countries. So first of all, let us start with point number 6.2. While discussing the nature or types of unemployment, it is necessary to know the nature of economy. So before starting the discussion about nature of unemployment or types of unemployment, it is necessary to know about the nature of countries or type of countries. So here basically we are having 2 different types of economies are there. The first one is a developed countries or developed economies, and second one is a developing economies. Because the nature of unemployment is different in developed and developing economy. Generally in developed, so from here we are going to start the discussion about developed countries. Generally in developed countries, lack of effective demand resulted from trade cycle creates unemployment. So first of all, I have mentioned here that lack of effective demand due to trade cycle. As the nature of country is different, in developed countries there is basically relative poverty is there. So it means here there is a lack of effective demand due to trade cycle. In developed countries, it is totally depend on the effective demand and supply of that particular economy. Different stages of trade cycle, as we have discussed in standard 11 in chapter 2 of economics, the stages of trade cycle, we are having basically 4 stages, that is boom, recession, depression, and recovery stage. In a boom stage, there is a highest demand and highest supply is there. It means there is an effective demand of trade cycle, so everything will be going very smoothly and easily, and there is the highest level of employment is there. But as we move from boom period to recession period, slowly the rate of employment is decreasing and it results in unemployment. And when we reach the stage of depression, there is the highest level of unemployment is there, and this happens because of the lack of effective demand due to trade cycle. So in trade cycle, first in boom period, we are having the highest level of employment, while in recession, the unemployment ratio is increasing. Highest unemployment is in the depression stage, and when economy recovering itself, the level of unemployment is slowly decreasing and employment ratio is increasing. So in a developed countries, due to this effective demand and supply, the unemployment ratio is changing. if there is a stages of trade cycle, that is recession and depression, there is the highest level of unemployment. But in other stages, there will be the lower level of unemployment is there. So generally, in developed countries, lack of effective demand resulted from trade cycle creates unemployment. This is mainly for short term. Remember this point. I have mentioned over here that this is basically short term because the stages of this trade cycle is not exactly running in a sequential or a proper trending line. Sometimes the stage of boom is very longer and sometimes the stage of depression is very longer. So it may happen that unemployment ratio or unemployment will be short term in nature because economy reviving themselves or itself. Lack of effective demand resulted from trade cycle creates unemployment, and this is mainly for short term. In developed countries, generally we find cyclical and frictional unemployment. Remember this point because it may be asked in either MCQ or in one-liner. That is, which kind of unemployment is seen in developed countries? So we have to write that cyclical and frictional because this effective demand happens due to the trade cycle, and that's why it is a cyclical. And it is short term in nature, that's why it is a frictional unemployment. This too is a different type of unemployment, but in developed countries we are generally seeing cyclical and frictional unemployment is there, which can be solved by now the measures to solve this problem of unemployment, which can be solved by increasing effective demand. So I have mentioned that point over here also, that is it can be solved by increasing demand. If due to increase in employment or due to increase in demand, there is a need of higher production is there, and due to that higher production more and more persons are employed, and due to this employment their income is also increasing, and due to this income increase they have to demand for more goods, and by that way through the increasing effective demand we can solve the problem of the unemployment of developed countries, because this happens because of the lack of effective demand. And if we increase the effective demand, then the problem can be solved. Now next, whereas in country like India, it means developing countries, where here we are discussing about the countries like India. So I have to mention over here that we are talking about the developing country like India. Because of high population growth rate, first and foremost problem of Indian economy is highest level of population, which is increasing day by day, and our average of increase in population is nearest about 2.2%. That means every year we are having almost 2.5 crore population included, or 2.5 crore population is adding to the population of Indian economy. So first problem in India of high population growth rate, and due to this high population the labor supply constantly increasing. As we have discussed in introduction, that the labor supply is the person who is above the age of or more the age of 15 years and less than the age of 64 years. It is productive age group. Due to increase in population or due to population growth rate, the labor supply is also increasing, and labor supply constantly increases. But on the other hand, because of structural limitations, employment rises at a lower pace, which gives rise to the problem of unemployment. And so here, due to structural or infrastructural limitations, we cannot provide employment to the full extent. In our economy, basically we are using labor intensive production techniques. Then also we are not able to provide full employment to all those who require a job. Sometimes it may happen that if there is any kind of job opportunity or job vacancy is there, almost more than 50 times people are applying for the job. Sometimes sometimes the ratio is more than 100 times. It means it is, if there is a vacancy of one person, then almost 101 person are there, or 101 candidates are there who are interested in that job. And this happens because of the structural and infrastructural limitations of a particular country. So first reason is a high population growth rate, and due to which there is an increase in labor supply. But due to structural deficiencies and limitations, we are not able to provide the full employment to all those who are required the job. So employment rate rises at a lower pace, which gives rise to the problem of unemployment. It means if there is a job seekers, or if there is a requirement of a job by an unemployed person is 50 lakh, but the job opportunity is only 1 lakh or 2 lakh. So it means almost 49 lakh to 48 lakh people are still unemployed, and this is the real situation of India. So high population growth and low infrastructure facility is the main basic problem for the developing countries. And as the problem of unemployment in developed countries is short term, the problem of unemployment in developing countries is long term in nature. That means unemployment in India is structural. So basically India is an agricultural country. So we are having two types of unemployment, that is disguised and structural unemployment is there. Mention this point also and line this statement. In developed countries, we are having cyclical and frictional unemployment, while in developing countries, we are having disguised and structural unemployment. If there is a possibility that in board examination, you will be asked to mention the difference between these two, then you have already 4 points there is there. First one is the reason. So here the reason is lack of effective demand due to trade cycle, while here the reason is high population growth and low infrastructural facility. Nature, in developed countries it is short term in nature, while in developing countries it is long term in nature. Third one, types of unemployment. So in developed countries cyclical and frictional unemployment is there, but in developing countries disguised and structural unemployment is there. And measure to solve the problem. So in developed countries it can be solved by increasing in effective demand, while in developing countries it can be solved by introducing social, economical and political changes, or through infrastructural development. So if it is asked in a different type or in a different pattern, then you have to mention all these 4 points. This can be solved by introducing economic, social and political changes. It means government is providing some kind of economic measures, some kind of social activities which can provide more employment, or due to change in mindset of political parties, or through developing infrastructural development or facilities, we can provide more employment to the unemployed person. So here the main introduction of these types of unemployment, or we can say the nature of unemployment, is completed. But to know the nature and type of unemployment, as we have already discussed that there are 5 types of unemployment: open unemployment, underemployment, then disguised unemployment, then cyclical and frictional, etc. Then, so to know the nature and type of unemployment, Sri Rajkrishna Committee report in 2011-12 has given 4 measures. So government has appointed Sri Rajkrishna Committee, which have submitted their report in 2011-12, which will be useful in knowing the measures, or it is the measures to know the nature and type of unemployment in the country. And Sri Rajkrishna Committee has given 4 different elements or measures to know the nature and type of unemployment. This question can be asked in 1 mark or in 3 marks also. In 1 mark they may ask that how many measures are given by Raj Krishna Committee, or name of the measures given by the Raj Krishna Committee to know the extent or nature of unemployment. So in both the cases, if it is asked that how many measures are given, then we have to mention 4 measures. Here we don't have to mention all the names, but here we have to write that 4 measures are given by Raj Krishna Committee. And if it is asked that give the name, then we have to mention the name along with the 4 measures. And if it is asked in 3 marks, then you have to write the full answer for that particular topic or question. So let us start with the first point, that is time. If any person has willingness and capacity to work, but does not get work for more than 28 hours a week, he is said to be intensively unemployed. As we have discussed in introductory part, if a person is willingness, ability and ready to work at a prevailing wage rate, then and then he is unemployed. So here in this particular point, first of all they have mentioned the time, that is the duration of working. So if any person has willingness and capacity to work but does not get work for more than 28 hours a week, see here the calculation is that it is 28 hours a week, he is said to be intensively unemployed. Basically, we are having 8 hours of working in a day. If it is multiplied by 6 days of working, where we are accepting the Sundays, then total working hours will be 48 hours in a week. So if the person is getting minimum work of 48 hours in a week, then he is fully employed. But less than this 48 hours, he will be underemployed. Here, in this case, it is 28 hours per week. It means every day he is on an average getting a work of 3.5 or 4 hours a day. It means it will be 4 hours or 5 hours. Here, if we are taking 5 days instead of 6 days, then also 8 hours into 5 days, because in some of the developed countries the weekdays are 5 and weekends is 2. So here total working hours is 40. If we are taking 5 days working and if we are taking 6 days working, then total working hours will be 48 hours. If less than half, that means if he is not able to get the employment up to the 28 hours, means less than half of the total working hours of a week. Total working hours is 48 and half of that is 24. Here they have mentioned that if less than 28 hours a week, it means he is getting either half of the employment or less than that. Say for example, less than 28 hours, it means it may be 27 hours, 24 hours in a week, 20 hours in a week, or sometimes it may happen that he is able to get only 15 hours in a week as an employment. So that can be called as an intensively unemployed, because he is not able to get even a proper working hours. So the condition of unemployment is very tough, where people is not able to getting at least 28 hours of a working in a week. Let us discuss it again. If any person has willingness and capacity to work but does not get work for more than 28 hours a week, not get for more than, it means he is able to getting less than 28 hours per week, then he is said to be intensively unemployed. Then second condition, but those who are employed for more than 28 hours, means he is employed for more than means more than half of the time period. Done? Those who are employed for more than 28 hours and less than 42 hours in a week, then they are considered as less intensively unemployed. As per this, if more than 28 hours means he is able to getting more than half of the working hours of a week, and less than 42 hours, because here we are knowing the measure of unemployment. If he is getting 48 hours of a full employment, then he is not considered unemployed person. But here, whatever working hours which is less than 48 working hours, in terms of Indian economy where we are having 6 days as a working days, so greater than 28 hours but less than 42 hours a week is less intensified unemployment. And in both these cases, they can be called as underemployed, because their willingness and ability to work more is always there. But due to infrastructural and some of the structural limitations, they are not able to get in at a full capacity. And that's why sometimes they end up to the less than 28 hours per week, that is intensively unemployed. And if greater than 28 hours but less than 42 hours, then also they are less intensified unemployed. But in both these cases, they are unemployed, and this situation is called underemployed, because his willingness and ability is there, but we are not able to provide them proper job opportunities. Done. So here we have discussed the first point, that is time. Now let us move towards the second point, that is income. When a person gets very less income, which cannot solve the problem of his poverty, then from income point of view he is poor. So here I have mentioned that very less income which cannot solve the problem of poverty. It means if the person is not able to earn his livelihood from his total working hours or from his total working life, or we can say from his total per day, per week or per month income, then he is called unemployed. In first point, we have discussed about the time element, that is the working hours. But here in second point, we are interested in knowing about the income level. It means if a person is working for 48 hours per a week, but then also he is not able to earn a livelihood for his family, then also he is termed as an unemployed person. Sometimes it may happen that due to the situation of unemployment, people are ready to accept all those which are offered to them, whether it is less salaried or very high exploitative in nature. And in that situation, their time period for serving is almost highest, that is 48 hours, and sometimes it may more than the required working hours. But then also they are not able to getting a proper income, or they are getting very less income which cannot solve the problem of poverty. Then also they are called as a poor persons. So when a person gets very less income which cannot solve the problem of his poverty, then from income point of view, he is poor. So here we are taking the second point, that is income. And if their problem of poverty is not solved out, then they are called as a poor. In rural India, especially this type of poverty is lying this statement. Because in rural India, basically they are working in an agricultural farm. Maximum working of the rural people is on agriculture or allied activities, which does not provide the full employment opportunities to them. And it may happen that after the working of a full-fledged activity, they are not able to getting a proper income which provides them proper satisfaction or will be able to earn their livelihood. Here they have given one example. That is, for example, a person required rupees 30,000 per month for satisfying the need of his family. So here the minimum basic requirement for their livelihood of a family is rupees 30,000. But earning only rupees 15,000 or less than that from his present job. So here it may happen that he is working for either 40 hours or more than 40 hours. Their requirement, that is family requirement, is 30,000 rupees. But actual income from this working is only 15,000 rupees. That is less than livelihood. So the person is termed as an unemployed person because he is not able to earn proper income for their family's livelihood. Done? So in first point we have considered the time. In second point we have considered the income element. Now in third point, that is willingness. Willingness is also one of the measure which is taken by Sri Raj Krishna Committee report as a measure to know the nature of unemployment. When a person is eligible of getting good job, but she or he does not get job as per her or his eligibility and accepts lower cadre job and gets very less income from this job, then he is underemployed. Example, if chartered accountant has to work as a clerk. So here in this case, the willingness is there. As we have discussed, who are called unemployed? All those persons whose willingness is there and ability is there, and they are ready to working at a prevailing wage rate. But unfortunately, they are not getting the proper working or total working hours as required. So here in this case also, when a person is eligible of getting good job, it means through educational qualification or through experience or through any other measures, he is able, means his willingness is there. Like say for example, a person has completed his LLB degree. Now he is ready to serve the nation as an advocate. A person has completed his MBA degree. Now he is ready to work as a manager, of a full-time manager in a company. But then also, due to the structural limitations or infrastructural bottleneckness, if he is not able to getting the job as per his eligibility or as per his qualification. Again, when a person is eligible of getting good job, it means he is fulfilling all the criteria of educational qualification and work experience. But she or he does not get a job as per her or his eligibility. It means if a person has completed MBA degree and plus 5 years of experience and now he is able to working as a general manager or any of the departmental manager of any of the company. But due to less job opportunities, he is not able to get the fullest job as per his qualification and he accepts lower cadre job. So now due to this unemployment, he will accept any kind of job, whether it is related to his educational qualification or not. Sometimes it may happen that he is not qualified enough to do a particular job, or the qualification which he possesses is not required to fulfill the criteria of that particular job. Then also he is accepting that job and accepts lower cadre job and gets very less income from this job, then he is underemployed. So this concept willingness is also related with underemployment, where, as we have discussed over here, that either he is getting a less working hours or he is accepting the job which is less than his qualification, then it is also he is termed as an unemployed person. For example, if chartered accountant has to work as a clerk, or we can say if the most qualified person who should be working as a principal will work as a PU in a school. So it is called underemployment. Fourth and last measure given by the Sri Raj Krishna Committee is productivity. Productivity is decided on the basis of the age of the person who is joining the job, his qualification, his physical condition and everything, which we will discuss in chapter number 2 of OC in Principles of Management. When a laborer is working with less than his actual productivity, then production is less than his productive capacity. It means when a laborer is working with less than his actual productivity, it means the person is able in Indian continent or the areas of Asia continent or the areas nearest to India, we are in a condition that we can work for more than 10 or 12 hours in a day. And our productivity level and our IQ level is very high. But due to lack of these facilities, we are not able to getting a proper job. So here his working capacity is very high. His productivity capacity is also very high. But production is less than his productive capacity because the organization itself does not require a person with highest level of educational qualification or productivity, because their production capacity is limited and they are not able to provide the fullest capacity level to all those laborers who can work in an extraordinary sense. When a laborer is working with less than his actual productivity, it means if his productivity level is 80 units per day, then production is less than his productive capacity, but organization asks him to produce only 40 units or 50 units while his capacity to produce is 80 units per day, then also he is termed as an unemployed person. For example, which is given in a textbook, a person can make 20 meters cloth in a day but gets a job where he can make only 10 meter clothes. It means he can be worked with less than his total working capacity. His working capacity is 20 meter cloth in a day, but organization asked him to produce only 10 meter clothes, and that's why his productive capacity will be less than his actual capacity and he will be termed as an unemployed person. So here in the types of unemployment, we have discussed the types of unemployment from the basis of the nature, that is developed countries and developing countries, in which we have discussed both these points in a very detail. Then we have discussed about the Sri Raj Krishna Committee report, which is submitted in 2011-12, which is helpful in know the nature and type of unemployment, in which we have discussed the 4 main elements, that is time, income, willingness and productivity. So today's lecture is totally based on the types of unemployment, in which we have discussed developing countries and Raj Krishna Committee report. All the types which I have mentioned in the very starting of this video lecture will be discussed from next lecture onwards. Thank you very much, class.